Good morning. I'm Clint Satterfield. I'm the Director of Schools for Trowster County. It is Monday morning, April the 6th, and I want to be able to provide you with some more updates about our continuity of learning plans for Trowster County schools. First of all, as always, our student safety and our employees' safety are first and foremost in everything that we do. Everything that we do in Trowser County Schools is under the best practice and research of the Center for Disease Control, the Tennessee Department of Health, recommendations from the Tennessee Department of Education, as well as Governor Lee's orders and best educational practice. Basically, our long-term continuity goals are five-pronged. And our first one is that we want, starting today, we want to provide weekly teacher communications to our families. We want to provide nutritious meals for our students that we began on last Monday, March the 30th. We want to provide the highest level of academic instruction possible for all of our students. And we want to provide equitable services for the students who are the most disadvantaged in our school district. And we also want to work and be sure that our seniors, that we're providing opportunity, that we have seamless college supports for our graduating seniors that will be moving on to college in the fall. The other thing that we're worried about is the lost learning due to long-term closures. This is some research in last year from the Brookings Institute, and you can see whether it be reading, it's at the top of the page, grades 3 through 5 reading, grades 6 through 8 reading. And you can see in the blue vertical column, that students between the spring and their return in the fall lose 2 months of reading learning. And then in math, it can be as much as 4 months of math learning. So what we want to be able to do is, so what we're concerned about is if we stay out of school, and we will. You know, Governor Lee has said that we're going to stay out of school through April the 24th. The President has said that he wants to have the safe at home order through April the 30th. So the earliest we could return to school is May the 3rd. So more than likely we'll be out of school for at least 27 days, which is a little bit more than 5 weeks. And should that closure be extended through the end of the school year, our students would miss 37 instructional days, which is a little over 7 weeks. With this extended summer break, we could miss as much as 16 consecutive weeks of instruction. And the students who are not at grade level, who are the furthest behind, tend to suffer more from this missed instructional time than the students who are at grade level. Therefore, our charge is to be sure that we work together, both as a school district, our community, our teachers, and our parents work together to be sure that we try to mitigate this loss of learning due to a long-term closure. Again, this is one of my favorite quotes from the educator and philosopher John Dewey. And he says, "What the wisest man does for his own children, that we could do for all children." And even though our work is optional, that this expanded loss of learning due to an extended summer slide is real, and we want to encourage all of our parents to participate with our schools and our teachers to mitigate the learning loss going forward. We talked about in our last meeting with parents that we had a continuity of learning plan, and there are some elements of that continuity plan that I want to be sure that all of our parents understand. First of all, the assignments that we're sending home are parent-friendly. Our teachers have been very thoughtful to send homework that students can do at home and with the help of their parents. We want to also understand that this work is optional, is not mandatory in any way. Will not be graded, although we will provide feedback to students on the work that they do. It will not affect their grade in any way. We also want our parents to know that this work is worthwhile, that the work that our teachers are assigning, it's within the curriculum that we use each and every day that we're in school, within the materials that our students use each and every day. We know that we have different challenges in our community with broadband and computer access, and therefore we're delivering our learning 3 different ways. We can do it completely by technology, and we'll talk more about how we're going to go about that shortly, and also paper pencil options. And if parents want to use technology and paper pencil, we have blended options as well. The key is that we're going to provide weekly teacher feedback to our families and our students beginning today. And that will shed some light on our work going forward. Starting today, that our teachers are going to be reaching out to our homes, and they want to speak with the students and the parents. We want you to be sure that you realize that our teachers will be using their own personal cell phone numbers, and a lot of times when they're working from home, and we want to be sure that they're not giving away their own personal numbers. Therefore, we have a system of way we can camouflage that number. So if you see an unfamiliar number coming through your phone, and our teachers will only be calling students or calling homes between the instructional day, which is 7:45 a.m. to 2:45 p.m., then if you see an unfamiliar number during the instructional day, we'd ask that you try to make an attempt to answer that phone. Our teachers this week their conversations with students are going to be basically around 3 items. Number one is, are you getting enough to eat? And do you need to have school meals accessible to you, and other than what we're doing with the grab and go technique that we're presently using. So we need to get a bead on how are our students being fed, and if they have meal needs. Also, if they have any other needs, that we can help get information and resources out to our students during this closure time. And then lastly is those individual learning modules that we sent home with students on March the 16th. Hopefully our students have been working on those, and then the teacher wants to talk to them about what piece of student work was that 1 or 2 pages that they can take a picture of and submit to their teacher by the end of the week. Also, that our homes will be getting another layer of additional support from their special ed or their ESL teachers. So if we have students who have special needs, then those teachers are going to be layering on an extra level of instructional support, and those teachers will also be communicating with parents about they're going to keep some office hours where parents and students can call them during the instructional day to help them with any questions that they may have on their assignments. The key for us is, and I understand that sometimes that people get on social media and they make opinions and that type of thing, and sometimes that spreads a lot of disinformation. Some people call it fake news, I guess. But we want to really try to encourage our parents to go to our teacher websites. We've had those in place for 5 or 6 years, and we need to use those resources more now than we ever have before. But if we would go to our website, our district website at www.tcschools.org, and go across the top and look for schools and click down and then pick the school that your child attends, go to the quick links on the left and scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says teacher website, then they can select their teacher in alphabetical order. Once they get to their teacher, if they'll go to the left-hand side where it says My Pages, they can look at the individual learning modules. That's what our students are working on presently, and that assignment is from March the 30th, last Monday, through this Thursday, April the 9th. We call that week 1. That work is to be submitted by April the 10th, and the teacher, when they call students this week, or they'll put on their website which piece of work is submittable, they'll take a picture of that and then email it to their teacher. Our continuity of learning plans are the extra layer that we added to the individual learning modules once we found out that we was going to be out of school through April the 24th. So we will be posting those 1 week at a time. However, we know we'll be out between April the 13th and the the 17th. We'll call that week 2. Our teachers will be posting those assignments very soon. And then week 3, April the 20th through the 24th. And then we'll be adding other weeks if necessary. Again, going to the teacher website has a great deal of information, but if you need to talk to your teacher, it is best during these times to reach out to them by email, and all of our teachers and staff, including myself, have emails, which is their first name, last name, no spaces, no dots in between, at tcschools.org. We were talking about the delivery methods a few minutes ago, and we were talking about the digital, and you can go to the teacher website and you can download those in PDF form, print them. Even if you don't have a printer, you could actually copy the piece of work that's to be submitted on a piece of notebook paper, do the work, and then take a picture of it. Or you can download the paper pencil and write from there. You can also, during these teacher conversations, you can notify the teacher if you need a printed packet. We will also print packets, and we will give those out to parents as needed. Just tell your teacher if you want a printed packet and how do you want to get it. We don't mind mailing them. We mailed port cards a couple of weeks ago. We also mailed some other packets, and we don't mind mailing them. Or if you want to pick it up at school, then continue to work with your teacher to find out when those packets will be printed, when they'll be available, and when you can pick them up. Also, is at the middle school and the high school, we're one-to-one. We have Chromebooks with all our students in our major 4 content subjects, and we've got Andy Overman's been working with getting those Chromebooks ready to go, and we're going to have a Chromebook pickup day this week. So, but in order to get a Chromebook, you've got to sign a contract that says that you will return the computer by May the 22nd, and if there's any breakage, theft, or anything, that you'll be fiscally responsible for that as well. The high school pickup day will be Wednesday this week, April the 8th, and it'll be from 8 to 11 in the morning and from 1:30 to 3 in the afternoon. Now that's important because that we're serving meals on our grab-and-go lunch from 11:30 to 1 o'clock each day. So we want to be sure that we don't have a big influx of traffic, so we cannot pass out, please understand, we cannot pass out Chromebooks during that time. And then our middle school will pass out their Chromebooks between 8 and 3 on Thursday, April the 9th. Thank all the parents who have completed those technology surveys that we sent out last week. That has been very helpful in getting the number of Chromebooks ready that we've seen a demand for. Another thing I think is important is Comcast is offering free Wi-Fi to qualified households. We will put this up on our internet, on our district website today, where you'll have this link. But if you'll go to this website and fill out a questionnaire, Comcast will provide free Wi-Fi for those households that qualify, and only $10 a month for those that do not. Next, we talk about how important communications are during this time, as we try to limit the face-to-face and proximity communications with one another, and that our teacher websites are our one-stop shop place to go for information. And the next best place is our teachers are going to be reaching out to call our families this week. Again, be aware of that unfamiliar number that you will see. Please reach out to our teachers by emails, and please check our district site on a regular basis where this video will be posted as well. We will also, from the district, send out text messages as the information becomes available and important. And also look for these director video messages that we will make each week. I don't know if I'll turn them out on Fridays or Mondays, but somewhere, depending on the time that we have and the information as it comes available, we'll usually turn that out at the end of the week or the beginning of the next week. And then the Vidette, as always, done a good job of keeping everybody informed of what's going on in schools. So be looking for our local newspaper as well. Our implementation plan, as we talked about last week a little bit, is still our dual enrollment with Vol State is all online, and our juniors and seniors are doing that work from home. I think there was one or two students who needed a Chromebook, and they'll be able to get that this week. I know our guidance department is working extensively to be sure that our seniors are ready for college, and they're working on their college registrations as needed, and also their transcript submission. So if you have any questions, please email Ms. Jessica Cunningham at tcschools.org, and then she is also working with high school registration for next year. Please allow me to remind you that our grab and go lunch is available between 11:30 and 1 o'clock each day. We fed over 200 students every day last week. I know that our teachers is going to be asking students more about their need for meals. There's been some questionnaires that Miss Kathy Atwood has had families fill out, and if we see a need to expand our meal service to some type of delivery, we're certainly set up to do that if needed. Remember that our students do not have to be in the vehicle in order to receive a meal, so students do not have to be present in order to eat. Again, please be mindful that you can reach out to me at any time. We have our secretary works from home, Miss Amanda Carmen, but if you call that number, that goes to her cell phone, and she takes messages, and she gets those messages to everybody in the office. So we'll be able to serve you between 7 and 4:30 each day. You can email me at clint.satterfield@tcschools.org, and they can be looking again at our websites, the text messages that we'll be sending out, and social media posts from this district as well. And please do not hesitate to reach out to our principals by email at their first name at tcschools.org. Again, there have been some questions about our seniors, and we want to be sure our vision, mission, belief statement is accelerating and graduating all students for the careers of tomorrow. So it's important to us that our seniors leave ready for college and careers. The high school is working extremely hard to be ensured that we complete all those college registrations and gets your transcripts out in a timely manner. So please reach out directly to the guidance department, Ms. Jessica Cunningham, at the high school. I've had a lot of seniors and parents are concerned about graduation, as we are as well, but we have graduation scheduled for May the 22nd. Not sure what that'll look like yet. If we're in school, it'll look like all the ones we've had for the 100 and something years we've been in school. If not, we'll have to get creative, and we're exploring some other options such as live stream. But where our caps and gowns are in, our diplomas are in, and we will graduate our class of 2020. There are a couple of seniors, I understand, that do not have an ACT score. They might have been moved in from another state somewhere during the year, and they were scheduled to take the March 17th test. We've been working with the State Department and ACT, and there will be a July 18th option, and we can provide a voucher, which means the student will not have to pay for that ACT. So we'll have more details forthcoming. Just in closing, we're continuing our online dual enrollment with Vol State. I know some seniors and juniors as well are concerned about the prom. I think it's scheduled for April the 17th. Obviously, we're not going to be back in school by that time, but if we get back in school before we graduate, we'll certainly have a make-up prom. So we just have to watch the news and see how that's going. Please be mindful that all of our schools, including central office, are closed until this ordeal is completed. So please reach out by phone, email, and those things. But coming to school other than doing the essential business of picking up a Chromebook or picking up meals are certainly discouraged. Lastly is this. These are tough times, and we will get to a better place. But remember to stay on these safety tips. Remember these safety tips. Stay home if all possible. Act like you have the virus so you don't give it to others. Wash your hands frequently. Stay a minimum of 6 feet apart. And now they're saying is to wear a mask in public in order to protect others. And we will get to a better place, but think about how we can work together to mitigate the expanded summer slide that we're definitely going to see with students. Take time to work and enjoy working with your child every night or every day. And communicate with your teachers. It's the only way to stomp out disinformation is having good, clear communications. And be mindful to please submit those simple student work products so that our teachers can look at that and give students weekly feedback. Thank you for your time, and let's keep working. Thank you.